I bought all this for $30.61, and I'm going to show you how to make budget meals for your family. So please join me. Welcome to The Bold Encourager. I'm Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're doing another episode where I'm going to share how you can make budget meals and how you can feed your family for a very affordable price. And this time I went to Smith's. So this is just going to be, if you go to a grocery store, I'm going to give you tips on how you can save money and that kind of thing, and show you how you can use these affordable items to make some really great, fantastic meals for your family. But I definitely got a large response from my last video, and it really encouraged me to know that there's a lot of people that need help in this area, and I really do have a heart for you. And I am so sorry that this is such hard times, but my whole purpose for this channel is to encourage you in every area of your life. And so I really do hope that this video will give you encouragement, as these are really tough times, but we'll get through them together. So today I'm going to start that 5-day challenge today. We're gonna do 3 meals a day for 5 days with these items, and there's $30.61, so pretty much $30, right? So I mean, this is a pretty good amount of stuff for $30.61. I'll tell you, walking through the grocery store was very stressful. What I typically do is I do a pickup so that I don't have to do that because it took 2 hours. But when I do the pickup, what's great about that is I know exactly how much I'm spending. I know what coupons are there. So I really encourage you to do your research before you go to your grocery store. Also use the grocery store app and their coupons. This is the time. I know it is a lot of work, but I'm telling you right now, it's worth the work, and also it's worth the savings for your family. So yes, I understand sometimes you don't have a lot of time, but kind of do it on a day that you're off or something from work, and kind of make a plan so that you don't go to the grocery store and get lost and just say, forget it, I'm just gonna get whatever, because that's why it ends up being more than you would like it to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over the items I got. So to start over here, I got the Progresso soups. And these are these mushrooms. The canned mushrooms were more affordable than the regular mushrooms. This is cream of chicken condensed soup. There's ranch seasoning for recipes. There's egg drop soup mix. There's this frozen turkey breakfast sausage. This pork chops right underneath it. This is instant rice, so it's a lot faster, and these are also going to be meals that are pretty quick to make, so if you're on a busy schedule. I have green onions right here. This pizza sauce. This is teriyaki sauce, or I'm sorry, teriyaki marinade and sauce. And then this is pizza crust mix. Of course, I got 2 of these soy sauce ramen mix, but we're gonna reinvent this. We're gonna make this a lot more fun. I have margarine instead of butter. Margarine's a lot more affordable than butter. There's cheese, mozzarella cheese. As you can see, we're probably gonna be making pizza. Also, there's milk for some of the recipes might have it. And then there's macaroni and cheese, and of course, oatmeal, a staple. I forgot to include that I had also gotten this at the grocery store, the 3 pepper and onion blend. I forgot to get it out of the freezer, but I also got this, and it was included in the $30.61. 5-day challenge of eating all these groceries and making it affordable, and you're gonna see that there are some great ideas. I actually have quite a few Asian recipes. I'm half Korean, so that is a good staple for me. I'm good with comfort food, Asian food, and a lot of casseroles and American food. So I think that's gonna make it a lot more fun. And so also it's just like, okay, I don't have to eat just rice and beans all the time. Yeah. Oh, I don't have to eat just potatoes? Yeah, there's more to it than you know, because I know that's the thing, that's a hard part about being in a budget. Sometimes you have to eat the same thing every day. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches don't have to be the only thing you eat. And so this is what this is about. So let's get started on this and let's journey together. And I promise you, you'll feel a lot more encouraged knowing that there are options for you out there. So for 5 days, I'm gonna be eating this for breakfast. The oatmeal's always pretty affordable for the most part. Sometimes it's not, but when you find a good deal, it's a great breakfast item. It fills you up so you're not too hungry, but there's 3 flavors in here. There's maple and brown sugar, cinnamon and spice, apples and cinnamon. So my favorite flavors when it comes to oatmeal. There's actually more of the maple and brown sugar and the apples and cinnamon. There's 4 of those, and there's only 2 cinnamon and spice. But that's good because I prefer the maple and brown sugar and the apple and cinnamon. So that really actually works better for me. Okay, so it's all nice and warm and I'm gonna enjoy my oatmeal, and this is gonna be the rest of the week, so I'm not gonna really film this again. And I'm just gonna enjoy my breakfast now. It's nice and hot. So for lunch, I'm gonna have these Progresso soups. There's 2 servings in each can. So for day 1 to day 4, I'm gonna be splitting it between 2 days for each one. This is the loaded potato with bacon, and this is the lasagna style soup. Both are kind of both are my favorite flavors of this brand. But the 5th day, I'm gonna do something different with ramen, and it's gonna be more of a stir fry. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this one, half of it, and use the other half tomorrow, and then day 3 and day 4, this will be this lunch. Now time to make lunch. All you have to do is warm this up. You can put it in the microwave, or you can put it in the hot if you prefer, whatever you prefer. In the microwave, you can heat it 2 to 4 minutes. Ingredients are teriyaki sauce. About a cup of the vegetable blend that we have. Of course, ramen, soy sauce flavor. You're not gonna necessarily use the packet as much. Some margarine, and of course some green onions. Always need that for Asian food. That's a staple. And also, lastly, we need the pork chops. We're gonna slice these up and put them in the ramen. So first what you do is we're gonna go ahead and slice up the pork and thinly slice it so that we can cook it very well, and add it to the stir fry for the ramen. And then we're gonna add all these ingredients together in a bowl. So the pork's already in the bowl. You're adding the veggies. Add about a cup of those mixed veggies to the bowl. And then I'm gonna add some teriyaki to this. I would say about 2 tablespoons to 3 tablespoons of teriyaki for the flavor to be good. I just kind of, when I'm cooking, I just don't really measure as much. I kind of go by taste and by the way it looks. But I would say it was about 2 to 3 tablespoons of teriyaki. Salt and pepper as what was added. I also added garlic powder, and I added a little bit of sugar. You want to season well with whatever pantry items you have. You don't have to add the ones I'm adding. It's just what you have available to you. If we added pantry items into our $30 max, it would be really tough because we would have to definitely spend a lot of money on seasoning. But I like to add what I have on hand, and really you can season it with your favorite seasonings. But if you have sugar, it really helps to add about a teaspoon of it, just so it has at least a bit of that, cuts the saltiness away from all that seasoning we just added. But I highly recommend always seasoning really well. Now we're gonna add it all to a pan, and on the other side, in a different saucepan, we're gonna be cooking the ramen so that we can add it to the stir fry. But as you can see, I mixed everything in after I made the ramen to the pan. It was just the pork, the ramen after it was cooked well, and then I added a little bit of margarine to make it have a little of a kind of that buttery flavor, that oil flavor that stir fry has, since we got margarine instead of oil. It's up to you if you want to use the seasoning packet that comes with the ramen. I just sprinkle a little bit on it just so it gives it a little bit more flavor, but I try not to use the whole packet because there's a lot of sodium in the packet. Once you're done cooking, this is what it's going to look like. It looks like it just came out of a restaurant. It was delicious. It was very affordable to make. So I recommend you making this for lunch or dinner, and I assure you your family will love it. For this dinner, we're making pizza. Why make pizza? Because it always tastes better with fresher ingredients. Well, this pizza crust mix was 89 cents. Typically, there's some kind of pizza crust mixture you can get at the grocery store, and you just add the water. So prepare the pizza crust based on what it says on the instructions. This just required hot water, and it just had to be put in a warm spot for 5 minutes. So very easy instructions to make this pizza crust, and also just greasing the pizza crust once you've got it into a ball. Just putting some kind of oil, or if you want to use the margarine, melt that margarine and just basically roll all the dough into a ball and cover it with that margarine. The melted margarine, and it will be what you need it to be, and then cover it with basically plastic wrap and let it sit for 5 minutes, and it will work really well for you. You will also need mozzarella cheese and pizza sauce, and then also the mixed veggies blend that we have. I used about a cup of it. Also, I used half of the canned mushrooms on this recipe. So now we're going to go ahead and put the crust on you want to make sure you grease the pan, whatever you have. I didn't have a pizza pan that was circular. I have one, but it doesn't fit in my oven. So I went ahead and take the dough and press it out until it's kind of a thin crust on the pan. And then once it's there, then you can start adding all your ingredients. Started adding all the sauce, and I just spread it very evenly. I used about half the pizza sauce that I had there. And then I started adding the cheese and the vegetables. I preheated the oven at 475 degrees and cooked it for about 10 to 12 minutes until it came out golden brown. The pizza package actually said that for the pizza crust to do 475. So I recommend following what it says on your pizza crust package too. We're making ramen soup with egg drop flavoring. We don't even have eggs for it, but we have the egg drop packaging flavoring. And then also we're going to use this ramen flavor along with teriyaki, mushrooms, pork, and green onions. The necessary things to make a really good ramen soup, but it's going to have a lot more flavor because we're not just using the packet, and we have some good ingredients here to make this soup. First, you want to slice your pork, and you just really need one of the pork chops to slice up, or you can do two, whatever your preference is, but I went ahead and just did one. I'm only doing a serving of 2 for this soup, so I just thinly sliced this pork chop into very small pieces, so that when it's cooking in the soup, it cooks very well, because we're not going to stir fry it, we're going to cook it just in the soup. So we want to marinate it in, of course, in some sauce, but we are going to cut it very thinly and then cut them into smaller pieces so that they cook well when we're putting it in the ramen. Now you're going to add very similar items that I added to the ramen stir fry. You're going to want to use about 1 to 2 tablespoons of the teriyaki sauce, and then of course season it with any seasoning that you feel like you want to season your meat with. You always want to season everything, as I've said before. I would use garlic salt if you have it, or garlic powder, and of course pepper. And then if you have a little bit of sugar, of course, 1 teaspoon of sugar, but just seasoning the meat very well. Once the meat's ready, now it's time to make the ramen. You're gonna boil the water as you would on your ramen package, what it says. And basically, we're gonna start adding the items to the boiling water, but we have to wait till it gets boiling. Once the water starts to boil, you can start adding your egg drop soup package. I'm pretty sure you can get this at any grocery store. This one was really affordable. And I thought it would be a good flavor instead of just doing the ramen packet. And I would say just add half of the package, because that would be enough, because there's enough sodium in there for the serving that size that you're making right now. Then you want to start adding the other ingredients like the ramen and the meat and the mushrooms. And we only have the other half of the can of mushrooms for this, so we're just adding the rest of the mushrooms here, and then we're just gonna boil it for basically 5 minutes, and then we are good. I mean, it's a quick recipe, it's really easy, and it's delicious. When your ramen starts looking like this, you know you're ready to go and you're ready to eat, because the noodles are perfect, the meat is looking good, and it's time to eat. This is just 1 serving size of the ramen put in the bowl, and of course garnish it with green onions, because you can't do it without green onions, especially with Asian food. It's just wouldn't be right. And I just love eating green onions with ramen. So now we're gonna make pork stir fry though with rice, and it's gonna be good. We're gonna use this teriyaki sauce. We're also gonna use this instant rice just because it's 5 minutes to cook this rice. It'll make it quick. Also margarine, we're gonna use that as well. And we're gonna use some green onions, of course. The staple when it comes to Asian food, we have to use green onion. It definitely is necessary. And then of course we're going to use pork. We're going to use we're going to use 2 of the porks to make this one. Now we're going to slice the pork into thin slices like we did before. It just cooks it faster as we've seen before, and we're going to stir fry it, so it's definitely worth cutting it to those nice little slices that we have done before in previous recipes, and it's going to be delicious with the rice and all the veggies. Now we're going to go ahead and take all the meat, put it in a mixing bowl, and add all the ingredients and season it, except for the rice of course, and that way it's ready to go into the saucepan or the fry pan, whatever you want to call it, and cook it up really nicely before adding the rice to it. We're going to add 1 cup of the mixed veggies to this teriyaki, and of course pork. So everything we've used prior, because it's good to kind of reuse all these items. That's why it makes it so much more affordable. Of course margarine too, we're going to add that as well. I'm going to melt the margarine, as you can see, and I'm going to add it to this. It gives that kind of like, I like to use sesame oil, so because it's kind of expensive, instead of sesame oil we're using this margarine, and it gives it that kind of more oily flavor to the teriyaki and gives it more flavor and consistency, along with adding the other seasonings that we added before: garlic powder or garlic salt, pepper, salt, and a little bit of sugar. And you're going to mix it all together, and you have yourself another stir fry ready to go, but it's going to taste really good with that rice. Then you're going to add everything to the pan, and you're going to cook it nice until everything browns nicely. And once it's ready to go, while we're waiting for that to cook, we're going to go ahead and make that 5-minute rice so it's ready to go all at the same time. With the 5-minute rice, you can put it in the saucepan or the microwave. I prefer to put it in the saucepan, but it's very easy instructions, and it's going to make it so easy because it's only going to take you 5 minutes versus it would usually take 30 minutes for rice. When it gets to this texture basically, and it's kind of like more of the water's out of there and the sauce is thickening, now it's ready to be put on the rice. And this is what it's gonna look like. I actually just added a little bit of carrots just for the make it look presentable, but it was delicious. My husband loved it and you're gonna love it. I'm really excited to share this recipe with you because it was not planned. It's a ground turkey patty calzone, and it's well, actually a sausage one, but we use the ground sausage, half of it, the green onions, the ranch mix, the chicken condensed soup, and this pizza crust mix because I had gotten 2 of them for the pizza but only used 1. And then we're gonna have rice on the side because we're going to put the gravy on it, and also have, it's just a good meal to have all the things included. So I think this is amazing recipe. So you're going to make your pizza crust like you usually would, as if you're making pizza, following the instructions on the package. But this time you're not going to preheat your oven to 475. You're going to preheat your oven to 425 instead, because the way it's going to have to cook is a little different than pizza. But go ahead and prepare your pizza crust as you usually would, only difference is preheating your oven at 425. So now you're going to cut the turkey breakfast sausage in half because I'm only going to use it for 2 patties. I'm going to use the other half for the dinner for tomorrow, so I'm going to save that for tomorrow, but I'm going to use one of the halves for this recipe. Now I'm just going to add the seasoning to the ground turkey because it's going to flavor it well, and then also I'm going to use this packet on our gravy that we're making with the cream of chicken. So I'm going to only put a little bit of the ranch seasoning on the ground turkey just to flavor it, and then the rest I'm going to use on the gravy. And then I'm shaping the patties into 2. Of course, I seasoned it with my usual seasoning, pepper and some salt. Not a lot of salt because it's got the ranch seasoning, but I'm just going to season it well. Of course, I decided to use some of my green onion to put it into the patty because, we need that onion flavor on the patty. It's going to just give it more flavor. So I just added that in and mixed it in so that it's going to have that good flavor that we need it to have. Now you're going to want to put the patties on the stovetop and cook them till they're nice and brown. You would definitely want to get them to they're pretty much cooked. You don't want to overcook them, but once they're to the place that you want them, then you're going to take them and put them on the plate, and we're then going to wrap it with the calzone. So I took the dough and I basically cut it in half so I could put the dough over each one and wrap it around nicely. And so I'm basically just stretching it out so that we can cover the patty and we can put it in the oven that is preheated at 425. We're going to cook it for 15, or bake it, I should say, for 15 to 20 minutes until it's golden brown. This is kind of what they will look like before we put them in the oven. While we're waiting for those to cook, we need to make the gravy. So we're going to put the cream of chicken in there in a saucepan along with the ranch seasoning. You don't want to add all the ranch seasoning, just add about a tablespoon of that and then start making your white rice so that it can all be finished at the same time. Originally, of course, this is what the cream of chicken looks like. It doesn't look very appetizing. And then we just add the ranch seasoning. We still have a little bit left. And then I'm going to add a little bit of milk, maybe about 2 tablespoons, just so it's not so thick, and it should have a texture of what it looks like for gravy. And then we will put that on top of the rice and our calzone. This is what it looks like when it comes out of the oven, and then this is what it looks like with the gravy on top. And with the rice, it was so yummy. It's definitely something you're gonna love. And then of course I had to show you from different angles what it looks like and what it looks like when I cut into this. You're gonna see the center of it and how nicely it came out. Highly recommend you make this. I guarantee you will love this. Now we're kind of making a grown-up mac and cheese. It's the spaghetti mac and cheese. So we're gonna use the remaining ingredients that we have. We have the milk, we have the margarine, I should say, the ground turkey sausage, the mac and cheese. We also have the pizza sauce and the rest of the mixed veggies that we had, which is the red pepper, the green pepper. We're using pizza sauce instead of spaghetti sauce, but hey, it has really good flavor, so it's perfect for it. And so we're gonna go ahead and dive in and make this delicious recipe. So now we're gonna go ahead and boil the water for the mac and cheese, and we will be cooking the ground turkey sausage in a different pan, cooking them next to each other just so we can get them done at the same time. Basically, the ground turkey and pizza sauce and veggies are going on top of the mac and cheese. It's gonna just kind of be a good relationship with each other. It's gonna make mac and cheese way more flavorful. Of course, you're seasoning the meat, you're cooking it in the margarine, it's giving it that flavor you need so that mac and cheese is not disappointing. Of course, you're cooking the mac and cheese as you normally would according to the instructions, and you're going back and forth between the two, making sure they're not overcooking. And then you're gonna add the pizza sauce to the meat and vegetables. This is your topper. It's gonna go well on top of your mac and cheese. I mixed the cheese, the butter, or margarine I should say, and milk together just as I would if I was making mac and cheese. Then I seasoned it, gotta season everything. And now I'm gonna top the meat sauce on top of the mac and cheese, and it looks delicious. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out so much. Also, if you haven't followed me on social media, please follow me on social media. The links are down below. And if you haven't hit that notification bell yet, please hit that notification bell and it will notify you every time I post a new video. Well, I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope you stay encouraged.